Well, I think they've done it. And I know I shouldn't challenge them or dare them to try to one-up this masterpiece of unhinged buffoonery, because if anybody is up to the task, but I truly believe that the pearl-clutching and the hand-wringing melodramatic mavens of the American left have reached, finally, the pinnacle, the zenith, the Mount Olympus of manufactured outrage. The country's economy is in a tailspin. A sitting member of Congress was just caught colluding with a designated terrorist organization. The Middle East is melting down, and they're out here complaining and raging about a tree flag. If you haven't heard, the New York Times is trying to tell you how lawmakers are dialing up pressure on Alito to recuse himself. And NBC wants you to know that Democrats call for Supreme Court Justice to recuse himself. And Forbes wants you to know that Justice Sam Alito is facing growing pressure to recuse himself. And CBS Evening News wants you to know that calls are growing for Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito to recuse himself. And The Hill wants you to know that Chief Justice Roberts is facing calls to press Alito for recusal. It's almost like Rush Limbaugh said, that there's a memo or something that goes out. All of these news agencies and all of the things in the world that could be talked about, and yet they all cover the exact same stories from the exact same angle. Almost like there's a narrative, like there's collusion, like there's an agenda. But why, you ask, is Justice Sam Alito needing to recuse himself from all cases involving January 6th riot defendants? Oh, you'll love this. Because in a dispute with neighbors, that would be 30-something pro-BLM cohabitating unmarried white couple living with a pandemic puppy in their parents' house, flying an F Trump flag, those neighbors, in response to them, Justice Sam Alito's wife raised this flag. Pretty offensive. The Appeal to Heaven flag, flown by George Washington himself. So they like pine trees, you say. Is that a crime?
Looks great. Little full. Lot of sap.
Why is that something that should cause recusal in all January 6th cases? Because someone, somewhere, found a picture where that flag was being carried by a person at the Capitol on January 6th, and just like that, the flag became a flag of insurrection. No, I'm not kidding. It really is that dumb. And they're all in on it. Wikipedia had edits done to its page. On Wednesday, the Appeal to Heaven flag was just a normal flag. But by Friday, it was a symbol of Christian nationalism and right-wing extremism. Dude, a college professor from New York University actually wrote this about the whole thing. Many wonder why Alito was so open about flying that flag. Well, fascism is not a day job. It is a totalizing ideology and a commitment that involves personal conduct and public shows of loyalty. Okay, so let me understand. Flying an Appeal to Heaven flag is showing public loyalty to fascism?
What is wrong with you?
So here's where I am on all of this. I'm willing to humor this latest outrage, this only insurrectionists fly this pine tree flag, that whole thing, if all of the angry Angies out there explain why the 2019 Women's March was flying the same flag, why all the good folks on Obama Island, that is Martha's Vineyard, were marching in the streets with that same flag, or why San Francisco's City Hall, you know, that bastion of far-right conservatism that is San Francisco, they were flying that same flag in 2023 around the same time that the Alito House had it up. Or why the Minnesota State Capitol building was flying the same flag as documented by Rolling Stone magazine. Or why the federal government made that same flag into a postage stamp. Or why former lawmaker, now CNN host, Jeff Duncan was wearing the same flag on a lapel pin. Why was it just the last 5 minutes that the pine tree flag became a symbol of right-wing extremism? Now, maybe there's a good explanation that someone can give. Or maybe, just maybe, this is all about the left attempting to delegitimize the one branch of the federal government that they can't control. Of course, if that's the case, wanting total government control and wanting to punish those people who don't believe like you, what was that called again, Professor? Oh yeah, fascism.